when you think of markets, the basics of the market have not changed at all. As long as people are falling in love, getting married, buying a house, having kids, having more kids, buying another house, or, unfortunately they might split up and then they've got a house to sell and two more to buy, or as long as these life events keep happening, there will always be real estate.
The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik. A Thanksgiving holiday weekend. We're so glad that you're joining us today. Thank you for tuning in, whether you're driving, wherever you're listening. It's going to be a very special show here, a very special holiday show. As everyone's driving around, I'd like to remind you, first up, always go to stewart.com/radio. Yeah, that's stewart.com/radio. That's right. You can see the guests. You can see what's going on in the studio on the YouTube channel there at stewart.com/radio. In addition, you can access all the archives, at least for a couple years. So let's get down to business. We have special guests here today. In fact, our first guest, his name is Walter Bering, and the company is called Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty. And in the world of residential real estate, Walter is at the top year in and year out, handling the most exclusive of listings right here in the Houston area, and who knows where else. Mr. Bering, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill. I'm grateful to be here. It's fun to be here on the Thanksgiving weekend.
It is exciting indeed. And, we've talked about this going back now, I bet 4 years ago, and we wanted to wait until we got to KPRC at the nice studios to
just
get here.
This moment in time.
It's funny how that is. Walter, first of all, most people here in Houston know about Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty, but for those listening outside, let's tell people about your company and the scope.
Well, Martha, I've been there for 23 years now.
Wow.
It all started with Martha Turner, and then Sotheby's bought Martha Turner about 8 years ago. Martha had built a wonderful brand in Houston. If anyone was traveling in Houston, they knew of Martha Turner as a luxury broker. If you were traveling from New York to Houston or somewhere out of town, you probably wouldn't know Martha Turner, but you knew Sotheby's. And so about 8 years ago, Sotheby's bought Martha Turner Properties, and we became Martha Turner Sotheby's International. And we have grown significantly since then. And, for me personally, it's, I find that we cast a wide net with our network of brokers, and I've really enjoyed getting to meet brokers from all over the city, all over the world. Our middle name is International, so it's been a wonderful learning opportunity for me. Even as long as I've been in the business, I'm always learning something, and it's great to have these relationships with other brokers from other cities.
Indeed. As far as the Sotheby's reach, people in other countries, they know about you. You're serving those buyers and sellers on a daily basis right here in Houston.
That's right, and it's been a wonderful resource for referrals because right now, there's a lot of people from California moving to Houston or Texas, and that our taxes are a lot friendlier here, and plus our cost of living is so much less than other cities. As for the fourth largest city in the country, we probably have the most affordable housing.
Well, and you mentioned there's probably at least every other show we mentioned California in one way or another where they are indeed coming here. So let's just say that's still going on. So, for example, Walter is saying the last couple of weeks there have been people from California you might have been talking to?
Not the last couple of weeks, but I have. And in fact, I went out to L.A. a couple of months ago. There was a Sotheby's event there, and I saw it as an opportunity to really network with those agents because, again, they're a referral source of business for us. But the people from California or out of state that I have worked with, that see these homes in Houston, and $1 million in Houston buys a lot more than it does in New York or L.A. or Palm Beach or Aspen, those kind of places. People that I've had have, they're usually referred to me by another broker through the
Sotheby's brand. So that's where that comes in handy.
It's usually something work related.
Well, as far as your area of focus, give people an idea. Of course, your office, we could see it right here from the studio off the loop here in Uptown. But give your area of focus, let's tell people what that is and how you approach it.
Right. I have focused on the luxury market, which is in Houston is River Oaks, it's Tanglewood, it's Memorial, it's Westview, Southampton, Medical Center area, those markets, Inner Loop section.
And as far as those markets, which one would you say is the top two most popular? I'm thinking River Oaks and Westview, but what is it? How's it really
River
shake
Oaks
out?
is probably the most expensive, but I'd say Memorial. There's some pricier homes in Memorial than River Oaks. They just had a record sale for Houston in Memorial like last month, $21 million.
Wow. So we do have high, and that's one of the things where your distinction lies, is that you're also handling some of the highest listings we have had and have right here in Houston, Texas.
Well, I'm grateful for that, but I didn't start out there. So.
Give us an idea. I want to know about, because I think a lot of people, especially new realtors or aspiring realtors that watch all the many shows that are, everyone's driving Mercedes, all the realtors are selling $50 million, $20 million, $11 million homes, right? So we want to be a realtor. However, give us an idea. You started out over 40 years ago as a realtor. There was a point that you got traction in this luxury market. So, and I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming you had a goal on the luxury market.
Right.
But when did you achieve that traction, and how did you know it?
Well, let me back up because, as I said earlier, I started very humble beginnings for real estate. My father had a real estate company, Bering Realty, and I worked with him for 16 years. But prior to going to work for him as a realtor, he hired me as his yard man. We had, as a real estate company, we had a lot of listings, and he had me mowing yards in Tanglewood when I was like 14 years old. And then when I got a car, I needed gas money, so he made me janitor for the company. So I was moving up. And then I was emptying ashtrays, cleaning toilets, and all that fun stuff. And then when I graduated from college, I went to work for him in 1979. Worked for him for 16 years, and I really think of those as my training years because my father, he was a legend in the real estate industry. He was a former president of Houston Board of Realtors at the time, former president of TAR, was just involved in the real estate community quite a bit. And he built a company with a wonderful reputation, and it was really a great training ground. And then, a time came where it was either I'll take over the company or we do something else. And I opted to, I spread my wings. And, he was scaling down. So at that point, we sold the company. And I went to work for Martha Turner.
About what year is this?
That was 1996. Martha, she just was such a wonderful mentor.
Indeed, yes.
And when I've interviewed with her, she said, I interviewed with other top brokers, and they all said, Walter, we'd love to have you. We'd love to join our the others said, we'd love to have you. And then I met with Martha, and I showed her what I'd done in production that year. I was so proud of it. It was $6 million. It was the most I'd ever done. And Martha looked at that, and she said, Walter, this is great. You'll fit in with some of our best producers, but I think you can do twice that much. I just immediately thought, well, I'm going with her. She was such an inspiration, and and she became a mentor for me. And at Martha Turner, agents have geographic farm areas, and so the large farm in River Oaks came available, and I snatched it up immediately, and that really helped give me a foothold in the River Oaks market. There was a trophy listing that popped up. I don't know if you knew the DePortnova family. They had a really nice home on River Oaks Boulevard. They were local celebrities in their day, and that house came up. I listed it, and it was a great listing to advertise and promote. But interestingly enough, this year I sold the house again. I represented the buyer this time.
So there you are. You're now getting traction in the luxury market. How did that feel? It must have been like super exciting.
It's great fun. I really every day is different, and we have some really. I'm grateful for my client base, and but most of them are, I'm more of a relationship realtor, and these are people that are friends of friends, or they've been referred to me by friends. I think people like to work with someone that they know and trust. It doesn't make it work. It's more like I'm working with friends all the time. So.
It's funny. I think it was John Maxwell that said, it's not work unless you'd rather be doing something else. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things I think about just doing what I'm doing too. So It's very exciting. As far as here we are, 2022, we're winding up this year in a few weeks. Can you imagine? And then here we are at the brink of 2023. How are you seeing the year end here in a few weeks? And then as far as you're planning, you're at the top of the game. What are the things that you're thinking about as you think, wow, here's what we've done this year, looking ahead? How do you keep the mindset right to keep on?
I think all the buzz right now is interest rates, and that's got agents, the public, scared. But I tell you something, when you think of markets, the basics of the market have not changed at all. As long as people are falling in love, getting married, buying a house, having kids, having more kids, buying another house, or, unfortunately they might split up and then they've got a house to sell and two more to buy, or as long as these life events keep happening, there will always be real estate. When I started in real estate in 1979, interest rates were about 15%.
Wow.
People were still buying and selling houses.
Sure.
Now we were very creative. There was owner financing, and there were some assumable loans back then.
About that, yeah.
But right now, and if someone's paying cash, that's definitely a big advantage. But all those life events, they have nothing to do with interest rates, and as long as those keep happening, we're going to still be in business. I think I approach this business from a standpoint of abundance, not scarcity.
Well, I think you're right. Those things are going to be happening,
right?
No matter what else happens. And we've had a lot of surprises in these last couple of years.
Right.
Some crazy curveballs, no doubt about it. However, those are the basics, and those are the things that are going to be happening. There's no doubt about that. Give us an idea as far as the changes that you've seen, let's say, in the last couple of years, or are you expecting any trends to emerge or that are emerging at the end of this year that we're going to see next year, other than, the interest rates, or even from a marketing standpoint? You also, by the way, you have one of your assistants here,
right?
Mary Grace Sullivan. So she's doing tremendous work, but give us an idea of how you're preparing as far as the team.
My team, I think you have a question. Why do we do this? I've been doing this 44 years, and I have to say my why has changed over the years. At first I'm trying to just pay the rent or raise a kid and all those things, and now she's grown. I've got to say my why these days is my team. I just have a blast I've got 3 assistants, and basically our roles are, I'm the rainmaker. I have Gary Wilbanks. He's my right-hand man. That's his title.
That's his title, right? Okay, I like that.
He gets our listings ready to launch. He helps me through the pending process, and he just he does it all. And then I've got Brittany McCann. She works at home pretty much. She does a lot of my marketing, sends out flyers, and follows up on showings, and does a lot of the follow-up. And I've got Mary Grace, who's here with me. She's my director of WOW, and that's like doing the little customer extra things that when we got to go beyond the call of duty, and then she also does my social media. She's doing a great job with that. She's making me look a lot more hip than I actually am, I think.
Well, I think you said it before, though, the relationship part. And quite frankly, as I've seen realtors all over the place, some of them are forgetting the basics. And one thing that you do, I know this through the years, that I see it not happening in other places, but when someone calls you, you actually answer the phone. That's basic, but that's important, and maybe not happening as much as it used to.
No, my phone is always on, 713-851-9753, 713-851-9753, and I answer it. If I don't answer it, I'll click the text button, can I call you right back? It might be another line or something like that, but I find so much of this business is just showing up. Some people don't show up. when you're annoyed because someone's calling you, well, you're going to be out of business very shortly. So our phone is our umbilical cord, and if we're not answering the phone, we're not open for business.
So well put. You're exactly right. So as far as, and go back, let's take, I don't know, last 20 transactions. Are you helping more buyers or sellers these days, like during these weeks right now?
Right now, I'm carrying about 20 listings. Thankful for my team that can help me service those listings because there's a lot of advertising and showings. We accompany a lot of our showings. But one thing about having a good inventory of listings is that they bring buyers. That's what makes the phone ring is when you have listings. Martha Turner used to tell us, if you have listings, you're working in your sleep. Because people are working for you while you're because you
she
have
had a
listings.
lot of wisdom, didn't she?
She did. And then Tom Anderson, her partner, he used to always say, you can't sell from an empty wagon. So right now I'm grateful. My wagon is full. And now I'm open for business, and we're getting a lot of showings, and I'm grateful for that. So.
And, of course, you're well known for the high-dollar listings, $16 million, $11 million, and maybe even beyond. However, someone might be out there, let's say they have a $400,000 listing. Do you not do that business, or do you incorporate that as well?
I jump all over that because, I've got to have my bread and butter as well. When the high ends, it takes a little longer for those houses to sell, and oftentimes I might have a client who has a son or a kid who needs help finding a place, and I'm grateful to have this younger team that can help me assist with those buyers as well.
Give us an idea, too. As far as success goes, you're obviously goal-oriented, have been for many years. What are some of the things you do mentally just to stay sharp? And real estate, I'm sure you're already excited anyway, but as far as staying ahead and learning, we all want to learn, but what are some of the things you do mentally as far as how you think about this, or maybe a word of success to all of us?
I think your frame of mind is so important, and I like to start off my days, ideally it's with some quiet time or meditation just to get focused. And I don't know if you've heard of this book, The Ninja Selling. That's a whole nother show, but it's a
good book, huh?
It's a great book. I've subscribed to their principles, and that's you start off the day with gratitude, and then you start off with, you write your affirmations for the day, and then write 10 personal notes for the week, and then they want you to make 50 forward calls during the week. What
like a prospecting call?
Well, it's like that, but what they say stop selling. And a forward call, that's an acronym. It stands for family, occupation, recreation, or dreams. So you're calling up people, and it's just a natural conversation. I mean, you do it as well, and it's just mainly a touch. And, people, they like to work with someone that they know and trust. And it has to be genuine. So I spent a lot of time working on my relationships with new ones and old ones.
Walter, before we close the segment, what else do you do? We could talk to you for hours. What else do you want people to know that's fascinating? Call Walter. That's number one.
Number one.
I already knew that.
Well, I've got to say, I've been doing this for 44 years. I live and breathe real estate. There's that expression of how do you do work-life balance? But I've found it's really this business, it's work-life harmony. Because whenever I'm out with people, wherever I am, there are opportunities for real estate always pop up. People are always asking me for how the market's doing, and I'm always glad to give them my elevator pitch.
We are talking with Walter Bering, top producer at Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty right here in Houston, Texas. Walter, once again, let's tell people how they can reach out to you, Walter Bering.
My cell number, 713-851-9753. My website, walterbering.com. Email walter.bering@sotheby's.realty. 713-851-9753. I promise I'll answer it.
He will. That's right.
Unless I'm on another call.
Thank you so much, Walter Bering. As we continue, it's time to talk to Stacy and Tracy Mathews. They are with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, premier properties right here in Houston, and also running an empire. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. We're glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
Well, I do want to tell people, encourage them, Everyone, go to the YouTube channel, stewart.com/radio. This is show 455, the first time we have had twins on the show. That is correct. If you can visualize it as you're driving, Stacy and Tracy are twins running this business together. Is that right, guys?
That's correct.
We're identical twins.
And they sound alike, so we're not going to be sure who's talking. We know it's going to be fun. So whoever wants to go first, let's tell people about your company.
Okay. I'll start, Tracy, if you're okay with that.
I'm okay with it.
We're Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Premier Properties. We have 20 offices in the state of Texas. We have 14 offices in the Houston area, Galveston, and then we're in Austin, Fort Worth, Lubbock, Amarillo, Dumas, Texas, which is 40 miles north of Amarillo, and Tyler. And so we're statewide. Did I mention Fort Worth?
Yeah, and Fort Worth.
In Fort Worth.
That's a lot of offices. But you're running all that from here, right?
We run it from our office on 43rd Street.
So as far as just generally speaking, before we get down to the Houston market, generally speaking, because you have the opportunity to be in those outer reaches that we don't get to talk about, what's going on in these other markets in Texas, guys?
It's basically following the same as Houston. We've had a great couple of years, record sales, record number of units sales, and then we've noticed a slight slowdown in every market we're in. So no market has been shielded from the Houston, what Houston's doing, we're seeing statewide.
And also, as far as we think of these different cities, as we're so we're focused on Houston here on the show a lot, not all the time, but as we think about, there's advantages to Houston with our economy, the jobs, the diversity of jobs. But take Dumas, for example.
Yes.
That's further out. They probably have a different kind of economy there, but are people moving to Dumas, Texas?
They sure are.
Unbelievable.
In every market we're in, we're having an influx of out-of-state buyers moving to every one of our markets. Yeah. I don't think any of them are excluded from a lot of California's. Walter mentioned that earlier. California buyers are coming in with cash, buying seem like in every market we're in. And so every market has been good, including Dumas.
How about Fort Worth?
Fort Worth is fabulous. That's our largest office we have in our system for us, and it is just a booming market right now as far as incoming buyers and listings. Listings are selling still very rapidly over there.
We added Fort Worth back in June of this year, and it has been phenomenal. It is the biggest office we have.
So then how, again, I mentioned you are twins. I'm looking at you. I know that. I'm still trying to get the names right. However, people that are listening, now they're reminded. So, but in the meantime, as you think about these different markets and what you both do, you're doing different things at the company, right? You're a team, the Mathews team, we'll call it.
The Mathews team.
How do you split? Who does what? Stacy does this. Tracy does this. How do you make it work?
So basically, Stacy, I'm the broker for the company. I've been in real estate not as long as Walter, but 1 year less. I've been in real estate 43 years.
That's a while.
It's a long time.
You have a very youthful look, though, I must say.
And Walter does it?
No, I didn't mean that. Anyway, that's not what I'm saying.
No, but anyway, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Joyce, these guys are getting me
and so basically, I handle the front end of the house, and I have a management team that works with me on the front end. I handle the broker questions, anything that may come up regarding that. Tracy's a CPA. He graduated, got a CPA, so he handles the back end of the house. So that's how we kind of divide up our roles at the company.
That's true. I've been certified since 1986, been a CPA since 1986, and it's just been a smooth transition for me to come in to this role and manage the back of the house.
And everybody, that was Tracy speaking.
Yeah. Mother couldn't tell us apart on the phone either.
She could. So, okay, give us an idea. When you're great with numbers, and you have to be to run this many offices, right?
Yes.
So you're actually seeing the numbers come in from all the offices around Texas. That has to be fun right there.
Well, that is fun. Actually, in looking at doing the financials every month, I like to look at them and see what's happening in the office. It gets me down to where I see who's doing what, and it just really is rewarding.
And Tracy enjoys that. He puts those numbers together where I never did enjoy numbers.
Right.
I just want the units coming in, but Tracy handles the putting the financials together, and he works with each manager every month going over those financials.
So, how many, as we look at all the offices around Texas, how many agents do you have?
We have 525 agents roughly.
525. And then as we think about realtors here in Houston, I think they say, I don't know, there's 40,000 and there's a certain amount active, and they're not all active, right? But there's the numbers is about 40. When you look at your organization of the 500 some agents, that's got to be interesting to see who's, like you were saying, who's doing what. Mm-hmm. So let's take out of that group, you have top producers.
We
right?
do. Yes,
there's
sir.
a certain group that they're always consistent. They're killing it, right?
Absolutely.
What is it that agent has that maybe some of the others don't have? What are they doing? What do you see as you look at the analytics, as you look at the personalities and the relationships? I bet you have a word on that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think what I see in agents like that, and probably like with Walter here too, is they wake up with a game plan every day. They do something every day in real estate. It's not a part-time job for them. It's not a hobby. It's a career. And I think agents who look at it as a career, we do a top 35 every month. Every one of those agents on our top 35 treat this like a business. And they treat it, I think they wake up every day prospecting, doing what they need to be doing, communicating. And I think that's the difference we see.
You just said that major word. Communicating. That's right. You got to let people know you're there.
That's right. Exactly.
You're there for them. You're there to serve them.
That's right. Communication is the only thing that we offer different from any other company. That's your differentiator, is the agent who communicates very well with the consumer or customers will be very successful.
I think it's interesting. I want to hang with Tracy in those numbers. I want to watch not to eavesdrop, but just to understand the dynamics of seeing this many offices percolating along. And there's probably areas, if you see trouble, if you see a dip, then what do you do?
Well, we actually get with the managers. We talk to them about their recruiting efforts. With the downturn that we've seen in the market, with us going in and picking up Fort Worth like we have, company-wide, we have not seen a decline, even though we've seen a decline from office over office. But company-wide, we're at the same level we were last year, which is amazing. We've added a couple of offices this year that were good acquisitions for us that we brought in.
As you look ahead, so you have this set up right now, these business centers with individuals that are out there working, building their own businesses, helping build your business. So as you plan, seems like you got a great thing going now, but as you look ahead, 2023, 24, 25, I'm just looking at you. I think you got other plans too. There's other stuff in the works, I'm guessing. I don't know.
Yeah. We're looking at widening our market share, improving our market share in the Houston area and our other markets, and that's done through recruiting and acquisitions. And we've done 3 acquisitions this year into totally different markets. We moved into Conroe this year with a great acquisition, Fort Worth, and then Lumberton, Texas, which is the Golden Triangle, which we're from the Golden Triangle originally. So,
are you in the commercial world at all? Or?
We have a commercial division headed up by a very strong commercial guy that we have running it. And the reason we went into commercial, I think Walter said something earlier when I was listening to the show that he said, I answer my phone. Well, the reason we went into the commercial industry, when I was trying to buy buildings or lease buildings, you call the commercial brokers, we typically find we don't get return phone calls within a very timely manner, like a week later.
And you're a potential buyer.
We are buyers and everything. And so we did that on our own. We went out 2 years ago and branched out into the commercial arena and brought in a guy to run our commercial division. And so our commercial guys will answer the phone.
Okay, also in the realm of all these offices in between the big cities, Houston, Amarillo, there's farm and ranch opportunities. How much of that are you seeing, and what are the trends you're seeing in the farm and ranch world around Texas?
Yeah, we see that's a very good market right now. It's a very select market on the agents who service that type of industry. Now, when you get out to Lubbock and Amarillo, we do quite a bit of farm and ranch, small farm and ranches. They've certainly got some big ones, like the 4-6 ranch that sold out there and all that kind of stuff. We didn't handle that one, but we have small between Amarillo and Lubbock. That was part of Yellowstone. Ranch. That was part of the Yellowstone show. Okay. And so anyway, but it was handled out of a broker out of Lubbock. But we're handling small farm and ranch, and that's a select market, and it's been a good market.
Stacy, as far as all the things if you didn't do real estate, what would you do? If you couldn't do it anymore, what would your second profession be?
Retirement.
Okay. I guess that's all right. I guess that's a good answer. All right. I'm going to ask the same question to Tracy. What about you?
Well, I came from a CPA background, so
You're loving the CPA thing.
I'm liking the CPA thing, but I'm also liking the retirement thing too. You know, I can't have my brother retire and me not retire too. You know,
So you might be on track at the same time, maybe.
Yeah, you know, we're 60 years old, so we've been in this a long time.
Yeah.
60. Yeah, that's interesting. Again, I encourage you, go to the YouTube video. All I'm saying, they're twins. I don't know who I'm talking to, but they're awesome. So in the meantime, let's say you got right here in Houston. Let's narrow it down to Houston. What do you see that's going to happen in Houston next year? And just take, you know, the loop, the heights, and all that stuff. What do you see happening right around the center of Houston?
I think we'll still have a viable real estate market. I don't think it's going to be what we've seen the last 2 years straight, but I think we're going to have a very viable for the worker bee agents that will be answering their phone and communicating and have a plan with the seller once they list a property will be very viable in this market. It just won't be as many units, but there still will be real estate being sold.
And I know you're not in the mortgage world, but I mean, I've heard a mortgage guys say it might go to 10%. What's your feel?
Well,
based on what you're dealing with mortgage people and stuff.
In my opinion, I don't think it will go that high, but you know, been in it since 1980. I sold at 17% interest. People still buy houses regardless of the rates. They will still buy houses. I hope it doesn't get back to 10, but if it does, I've seen worse.
So as far as staying on top of things, what are the things that you're doing as visionaries? You're planning. Certainly you're thinking about the business. How do we grow it, the acquisitions and those things like that. Do you have your plan all set for 2023 right now, at least the first part?
Well, for the most part, yes. Now we are actually in the process of meeting with every manager, planning 2023
in your realm of
in our realm, yes. And we've already met with about 70% of them, and we'll probably do the rest the first week after Thanksgiving. And so we're very close to having that put together. But we kind of have an idea what we're going to do.
And we'll finalize it at a manager's retreat we have on December 6th.
And is that like a special place you go to?
Yeah, here in Houston.
Right here in Houston.
Nothing special. It's just right over here off of Post Oak. And
So
we
you have
have
a good
2
time.
days worth of managers' retreats from everyone coming in statewide. We'll meet there. And then the last day with us, we're going to have the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway will be in town leading our group and helping us with some other trends and ideas that's coming from Berkshire Hathaway.
That sounds interesting. So that's going to be a good time right there.
Yes.
As far as your employers, when you mention, I'm thinking of two things. I'm thinking of managers, and then I'm thinking of the agents. First, let's say as managers, what are you looking for in someone that's going to manage your valuable business and the potential that it has, the existing business? Mm-hmm. What are the qualities that you look for something like that?
Let me take. I think what we kind of look for is we're looking for someone that's going to have our culture in mind. Who's going to work with the agents to make sure they like our brand and that they know our value proposition? They've got to be able to work with our value proposition, teach the value proposition, and keep the agents happy. And then also that we need them to build the business. They are our ambassadors in those market areas. They need to be out there talking to the top producers like a Walter, and they need to be asking them, if you're not happy, what can we do to get you to join Berkshire Hathaway and to go over our tools and do things like that. So that's kind of what we're looking for, someone that can keep the agents engaged, happy, and recruit and build a business plan.
I would also think they're reaching out to the community, whatever community they're in. They're doing things that are attached to the community.
That very community involved with the Chamber of Commerce, and we belong to quite a few Chamber of Commerces around the state, but they need to be actively involved there and in the Association of Realtors and in the education arena as far as training real estate agents.
And then what do you look for as far as an agent? When someone says, hey, I'm looking at different companies, I want to make a change, I'm thinking about your company, what do you look for to make sure it's a good match for you and the agent?
I think the first thing that I look at as a broker is I look for someone that, what have they done in the past? What is their sphere of influence? And what is their capability? You know, I started brand new, and I was so thankful my broker took a chance on me back 40-something years ago. And so it takes all kinds to get into the real estate. So I think we look at what have they done, what's their sphere of influence, and what is their want and why. What are they looking for, and what is their why that they're in the business also. and then kind of make a judgment from there.
When I think about numbers, Tracy,
Yes.
the beauty of the numbers is they don't lie, right? It's
That's
not a
correct.
gray area. It's not an opinion.
Yeah.
It's either this or that.
Only the person that prepares them is a liar, right?
Or something.
The
Or
numbers
they might
don't
have
lie.
an opinion about it. But the beauty is numbers don't lie. And I think as you're overseeing the numbers coming in, sales, all these things, you're seeing things that as you're out, as the salespeople are building relationships, you're seeing things and discoveries that others don't see, so therefore you can act upon them.
That's right. Yes. And so, Walter and Stacy both mentioned the last 2 years, we had the market was just phenomenal, and as an accountant, I love that market. But from the realtors, when you talk to them, they were glad to see it kind of slow down a little bit. So the market was good. The company was doing good. All the agents were doing good, and we saw it. We saw it throughout the whole company, and so us going in and buying a couple of companies this year, it's kind of helped us maintain, that going forward.
What part of my thinking is now I'm not eavesdropping. I don't have your phones tapped, but I'm kind of picturing as you're going over the numbers, you discover some good things and some excellent things, and you're calling Stacy. Hey man, you ought to see this. I bet you did that just a couple times last year.
Well, no,
I've
I've done that a couple of times, but I pick up the phone and call the managers from the individual stores if I see something, that commission disbursements, if something's not calculated correctly,
Right.
we catch all that in the back, and
That's
so
awesome.
we pick up the phone and call them. So we have a good rapport with the managers.
We're talking with Stacy and Tracy Mathews. The company is Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, premier properties right here in Houston, but also serving most of Texas. Before we close the segment, gentlemen, what else do you want people to know? Stacy.
I think that I want them to know we're with Berkshire Hathaway. It's a fabulous company, a fabulous reputation. There's not a week that goes by that someone doesn't pop in and say something about Warren Buffett, because it's owned by Warren Buffett. And so from that standpoint, we're just so proud to be associated with the franchise.
He's a good man.
He sure is.
About that.
Very good man.
And Tracy, what do you want people to know?
I want them to know that the twins are out working for them.
The twins are working for them.
That's right.
The calculator doesn't lie. That's one of the things I believe in.
So let the twins work for you.
Yep.
There you go. And let's tell people how they can reach out to you right here in Houston or beyond.
Okay.
The website and the phone numbers.
Website is preproperties.com. That's preproperties.com. Phone number 713-862-0000. 713-862-0000.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is once again, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance. John.
Bill, always a pleasure.
Unbelievable. So here we are, once again, Thanksgiving weekend. And it's exciting. And there's so many things going on this time of year. And, of course, insurance plays a major role, as it does all times of the year.
Absolutely. It's the topic everybody is wanting to discuss.
That's right. They wait for it, and they listen to this segment. Sometimes they go back to the YouTube. I see numbers that they go back to the YouTube video several times. So today.
Yeah, they skip through and.
They go right to insurance.
Right to insurance.
Yeah.
And then they go back and listen to Walter and Tracy and Stacy. Yes.
Exactly. So here we are. Insurance. What should we talk about today?
Well, last week we talked about reflections and preparation. I'd like to continue the discussion about preparation and ways that Stewart Insurance can help your business or as an individual prepare for the coming year. And there are three ways that we can really support our real estate partners. First is continuing education. So if you're a broker, owner, property management firm, and you're planning out your training for the year, let's get on your calendar. We have 3 CE classes that we offer, as well as several classes that are not continuing education, but we found have a great interest that we can share. So we would love to be able to get on folks' calendar and get those scheduled. We have real estate liability, reduce your risk and protect your license. It's a 3-hour course, and it teaches real estate professionals about the factors that lead to professional liability claims, how they can minimize those risks, and then how they can offset them with insurance. The second CE class is Property Insurance Essentials for Real Estate Professionals. It's a 2-hour class, and we take a look at how an insurance company describes or looks at, manages residential property. So what are the coverage differences between a dwelling fire and a home policy? What are the coverage differences between a home policy and a renter's policy? What are the differences between reconstruction and deconstruction and a vacant property? So we take a look at those so that our clients can have a feel for better guidance with their clients about, if you are looking to buy that property and you're going to leave it vacant for a while, just because it's vacant doesn't mean it doesn't need to be insured. So here's some things you might want to consider, or some questions you might want to ask your insurance advisor. And the last one is Two Sides of Water. It's also a 2-hour credit. And we look at how an insurance company looks at water damage. So from a flood insurance plan, rising water, water outside the home, and then with a home plan, the 4 types of water damage that can potentially be in a home plan. What are those different policies? What do they cover? What don't they cover? What to look for in a home insurance plan. So those are the 3 CE classes. And then I just did a class for a property management firm a couple of weeks ago, just letting their partners know about the different types of business insurance. So what's an errors and omissions policy? What's a business owner's policy? What is commercial property? So they have an understanding of what's out there, and then they can begin to either make some decisions or have some smart questions to ask their insurance advisor about coverage that might make sense for them. I've done several classes for first-time home buyers. So what are the things as a first-time home buyer that you ought to look for in your insurance plan, your home insurance plan? So do you understand the difference between replacement cost and actual cash value? Do you know the different types of perils? We talked earlier about the different types of water damage. So understanding what those are and how they make sense. And then we're all being affected by cybercrime, so that we have some discussions that we can do, at least understanding what those risks are, how they're taking place, and some things you can do to minimize those risks. So that's really the first way that we can help.
Some great information. And once again, we'll embellish that right here, you're available to help talk to realtors, have presentations, talk to the realtors, and sometimes you're partnering with our Stewart business development people, but you're a super resource to actually give this information, whatever class they want to, the continuing education classes, if they want that. So right now, as you said, it is a great time on the calendar to think about, if you're a broker, you're thinking about, okay, what am I going to do for my next sales meeting? What are we going to talk about? Who knows what it could be, but these are such important things. And I've been to my favorite, of course, is the Two Sides of Water, but I've been to that class, and in seeing the information presented, I learned some things that I didn't know. But number 2, what I found interesting in the room, let's say there was about 22 or 23 realtors the day I was there, it was interesting to see the questions that they asked, because it revealed what they knew, what they didn't know, where they needed help. And we can't just assume that all realtors know everything. It's ongoing education.
Well,
that's what you're providing, and there's no cost, is there?
No, we don't. We don't charge.
That's the best thing.
And we can do the CE classes for brokerages throughout the state of Texas. And we can do them in person, or we can do them online. We can do them Zoom or Microsoft Teams. The class I did
you could actually do one in Dumas, I bet.
I could do one in Dumas, yes. Yes, absolutely. Fly into Amarillo or Lubbock, and that would be this table has more contour than
Can't wait, can you?
No, I spend a lot of time in Lubbock on business. So the second way that we can help is through business development. We can help you sell. And the main way that we can do that is through the Real Estate Matters radio show.
That's right.
So, we had, great guests today that really provided some fabulous insights for our listeners. And they'll be able to take these segments and you'll cut them up for them so that they can turn on and market those segments. So they can talk about being on, a top 20 radio station in the fourth largest market in the U.S., a top 3 AM station in the fourth largest market in the U.S., the sixth largest media market in the U.S. So, the ability to utilize those tools, because when you do come on, as Walter talked about, have a plan. So what are the things that are important to my audience? What are the things that's going to be important to them? So let me talk about that, whether it's tricks or tips or, the 5 things that you need to
that
do.
book, the book about the ninja.
Ninja selling, exactly. The ability, I'm sure
get that.
We're going to have a lot of listeners that are going to go out and buy Ninja selling.
We just sold a lot of Ninja selling.
I know we sold 2.
At least
I know we sold 2. So
there's a couple agents in Dumas and Amarillo that are online right now.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, and we know that the Fort Worth is a great town, so the Fort Worth agents are definitely. They've probably already made their. They've already gone on Amazon and made the purchase.
So
I think so. So that's the second way is again helping. And if you'd like to be considered to be a guest on the show, you can reach out to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer, or you can reach out to you, Bill, or to me, and we can work with you to see if that makes sense.
And one of the things I always think about, I listen to other radio shows. I listen to this show at the time of broadcast, even though I put all the pieces together and all those things. However, if I were a realtor, I would be listening to this show all the time. I would listen to other real estate radio shows or podcasts and TV shows. Why? Because I'd be hearing what other agents do, what mortgage professionals do, whether some are doing incredible things, some are just treading water. Whatever it is, we learn from each person, and this is a platform that is right there to where the insightful can listen and learn, and I learn every show with each person.
I do too, and we had several really strong tips today.
That's right. This is a show you got to hear a couple times.
Yes,
I'm just saying.
Absolutely. And the final way that we can help is by helping you offset the risk. So as an independent insurance broker, part of the Stewart family, we work with a variety of insurance companies to make sure that we're building a plan that best suits our clients. So if it's your home, your auto, your wind, renter's insurance, vacant property, vacation property, we can work with you on that. On the business side, real estate broker, property management firm, small lender, independent title and attorney agent, we can work with you on your business insurance plan. So the professional liability, errors and omissions, cyber liability, workers' compensation, we can work on building those plans that best meet your needs and make sure that you are properly insured.
And before we close the segment, John, what else should people know?
If they want to be properly insured, reach out to us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. They can learn more about us at stewartinsurance.com, or they can email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
I understand there's a Dumas hotline also.
It is. The Dumas hotline is 866-798-2827. The Martha Turner Sotheby's hotline is 866-798-2827.
Thank you, John Bramlett.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, as we close the show, we're going to have everybody back in a quick word. But right now, Mary Grace Sullivan's here. She's one of Walter's assistants. Hey, Mary Grace.
Hello.
So how you doing?
I'm doing great.
You're doing incredible work behind the scenes. I've been watching you the whole time.
I've been, getting to capture behind the scenes, and I, kind of get some fun stuff for Walter's Instagram. So.
There you go. Well, we'll be looking for those posts. Meanwhile, Walter Bering right here, top producer, legend in Houston, Texas. Walter, before we close the show, what else do you want people to know?
I'll tell you what I want to know.
Call Walter.
Call Walter, 713-851-9753. And most of all, I'd love to have a twin.
Just think you could double your business, Walter.
I tell you what.
Come on.
Retirement's really not in my future. I feel like I'm just getting warmed up. But I'm going to need a twin to finish, I think.
Listen, you have that could be the biggest tip we've heard all year. I'm going to need a twin.
Thank you so much.
These Mathews, they're inspiring, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
All right, Walter Bering, one more time. Your phone number is?
713-851-9753.
He'll answer the phone. He'll list you properly. He'll help you buy things. That's right here in Houston, Texas. Thank you, Walter. One more time. The phone number is?
713-851-9753.
And they are back, Stacy and Tracy Mathews. Hey, guys, so as we wind things down, of course, everybody's at a holiday weekend. We wish everybody the best, not just for this Thanksgiving weekend, but beyond. It's a super holiday season. So before we close things down, Stacy,
Yes, sir.
See, I got that
You got
right.
it right.
Come on now.
You're getting good.
See that? I'm going to be part of the
You're right,
family.
just growing up.
I'm going to
Good
be
that
part
we
of
wore
the
different
team.
color shirts.
That helps. So in the meantime, we're winding things down. What else should people know about your company or anything else?
We should let everyone know that we raise money for the Sunshine Kids, and every closing we have, we donate a little bit to the Sunshine Kids, which was founded here in Houston, Texas. Children with cancer. This year, we'll donate over $100,000 to the Sunshine Kids.
And you do that as a company all over Texas, so
company
you
all over-
compile and then give them to check on what
It's
you're
all
able to.
it's all over Texas. Every office participates. Every agent participates.
And that's this time of year they do that, or all year long?
all throughout the whole year.
So throughout the whole year,
Yes.
Sunshine Kids,
Sunshine Kids.
worthy
Founded right here in
cause, no
Houston.
doubt about
Yes.
that. In the meantime, Tracy,
Yes,
I got
sir.
it right.
Yes,
huh?
sir. You got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so meanwhile,
You're
let's
at
get
100% now.
We're going to get the calculator out. We're going to find out. It's going to be, I bet you're going to have a good end of the year meeting. You get the numbers out. You get excited about that, and then you plan ahead, huh? I'm just eavesdropping. you know?
Absolutely.
Huh?
We've been having some good meetings already, and we're going to end it well in December with our managers retreat and cap it off with Gino coming in, the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway.
There you are.
coming in.
We might have to have him on the show.
Absolutely. Let's get him in.
And what's his name? Gino?
Belfari. Gino Belfari.
And where's his office?
California.
How about that?
Yeah.
He's not moving here, though. You know, we hear about a lot of Californians moving. But Gino might be in place for a little bit anyway.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think he's moving.
Okay, just thinking. But if he does, he knows who to call, right? All right, there they are. Stacy, Tracy, Mathews, right there, Berkshire Hathaway. Home Services, Premier Properties. Let's tell the people the phone number one more time.
713-862-0000.
And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik, together with John Bramlett, Tom Carpentier, Joyce Eisenberg, Justin Ramirez. Oh, yeah, Larry Warren, doing incredible work there at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance. We wish you the best this Thanksgiving weekend. We hope you had a good time. We're getting ready for the other holidays that come. It's exciting. We hope you make us a part of your holiday season. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We promise to bring great stuff every week. We're trying all the time. Hope you enjoyed it. Always go to stewart.com/radio. That's right. You can see the twins, Walter Bering, and everyone else on this show, the behind the scenes at stewart.com/radio. Check us out. We'll see you next week. Happy holidays.
Most of all, I'd love to have a twin.
Just think you could double your business,
Yeah,
Walter.
I tell you what. Retirement's really not in my future. I feel like I'm just getting warmed up. But I'm going to need a twin to finish, I think.
Listen, you have that could be the biggest tip we've heard all year. I'm gonna need a twin.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, for informative and entertaining information when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate, tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance.